Okie dokie. Red particle laser at full. Fire when ready. Let's push the right button this time and get started. Good day to everybody. Let's jump right in. Let's check out where we left off and get this going. We're going to work on finishing up the gallery. We need an end screen, safety borders, new weapon, and some actual gameplay with better rounds. So I think, and then also something else I want to do is make the main menu more better. I have an idea for stylizing it a little bit that I want to try, assuming time permits. So hello everybody, hello Schlump and Harry. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. I'm going to start with the safety borders because those should be super simple to put in. So let's open up a shooting gallery map. Let's find a volume, and we want a blocking volume. We'll just resize this to, well, actually, let's not scale it. We have sizes right here. So on our Y, we're going to put this at 20. And let's see, we're going to move it to here. Let's put this at 0 on the X. Let's go ahead and just stretch this to 1,000. 2,000. Really can't hurt to be too large, to be honest. We don't want our player escaping. We'll make another one over here. Let's see, where are we at on this one? We are at -480. So we'll put this one at +480. So let's see. Yep, that should work. And then let's put another blocking volume. Let's just duplicate this one, rotate it, and drop it in the back here. Keep in mind, this is just, so our player doesn't escape type stuff. And then to be safe, we're going to put another one right here. We're going to put it right in front of the, not right in front of, but we're going to put it on the, the counter, so that way the player can't get over the counter. I think we might run into an issue, but I'm going to deal with that in a second, because that's the whole point of figuring this out. Okay, so let's see how, and then back to our perspective. Okay, so let's see what happens, shall we? Oh, let's put our player in the correct spot and try that again. Okay, so yeah, blocking volumes, blocking volumes, blocking volumes, blocking volume should be there. I should be able to get over it anyways, and we can fire through the volume. Okay, cool. It should be just blocking the pawn, and that's what I was hoping. Cool. Our gun is kind of clipping through stuff, but I mean, that's just the way we designed this. Technically, now that we have the blocking volumes in place, we could drop this down like that. And the player can technically get up on top of it, but they can't get past the blocking volume. So we could easily just grab this, grab back to the top, slap our blocking volume right in the front of it, hit whoop, put our player in the correct spot. And there we go. I mean, because for the most part, the player is going to be like this. So if they go down, that's fine. It's, we don't really care about this. We have no animations. But now the player can't get over this like we expect. I mean, because technically our gun is either ginormous or ginormous. Yeah, our gun's just simply ginormous. That's all. We have a really crappily designed gun. But you know what? That's fine. For example, it works. Player can't get out. Okay, good. So that'll work. Okay, so let's go with this. Let's get rid of our safety borders from here. We need the ability to end the game. So I'm just going to quickly do something the reverse of what I normally do. I'm just going to slap a new user interface. Do I want a new interface to pop up for the game over? Yeah, let's go with a new one, and then we'll go from there. So let's see, Wiki Blueprint, shooting gallery, game over. And we're just going to really simply get something in place. That way I have something to work with. That's my goal here. And let's see if we can make this adaptive. So let's see, we've got that. Let's find our image. Let's just make a black background. And we'll make it partially transparent so you can technically see the level afterwards. And then we'll just get some text in here, which if I had actually done this properly, wrapped with a can we go with an overlay? Yeah, let's go with an overlay. Yeah, let's do that. That way I can technically put a vertical box like that. There we go. And then put our text in the vertical box. That. Set our vertical box to fill. Set our text to the middle to fill. And then let's just say game over. So that way at least we have something to test with right now. Okay. Let's see, Harry. I've had this problem with the child actor component meshes colliding with parent meshes and doing staying stuff like continually preparing the entire actor in some random direction. You would, well, we had technically that same issue with our projectiles and things like that. You should be able to, if you're talking about character, FPS character, if you're talking about something else under here, having bad collision, you should be able to just, where's my stupid mesh? You should be able to just adjust the collision like this. And you can see in here, there's a preset called character mesh that will ignore the pawn. That means it'll ignore itself. That's probably what you want to set it to. Just use the preset of character mesh. And they'll basically set, as you can see in here, it's basically set to ignore the vehicle and ignore the pawn, and the player should be set up as a pawn. If we grab the capsule, the collision preset on the player is pawn. So that way it should ignore itself if it's part of itself, basically. To ignore a specific actor, yes, there is a way to make it ignore a specific actor. Okay, for no, that is a good question, but what type of what is our setup here? I guess the better question is what type of a setup are we looking at here? What exactly are we trying to build and ignore? To answer the question about it, having an actor ignore a specific actor, you can make your own collision preset and make a new object type for the collision. So project settings, collision, make a new object channel. Like in this case, I have projectile ammo. You can make a new one called player, for example, which I don't think they have one, right? Yeah, you make a new one called player and just copy everything off the pawn itself, but set it to still block pawn like you want or whatever. And then just set itself as a player and then tell whatever you want, your gun or whatever, to ignore the player. The turret's a child actor component. I'd like the turret to collide with stuff other than the vehicle. Currently I have disabled collision on the turret. I'd like turret to collide with stuff other than the vehicle. Well, you said pawn, so what exactly are we talking about? What other... I see what you're saying. We do have a flag technically here for vehicle. If you flag your vehicle as a vehicle... here, so we could do something like new object channel, and you could also like tank, for example. And, we'll go with that. And then you have your preset channels here. Like your pawn, and you could do a new preset called we'll go with tank, object type tank. Grab all your settings that you want. So in this case, you can tell it to do all your stuff in here. So it's a tank, for example, and it should block everything. So you copy your pawn settings or whatever you want. But we have a new one called tank, for example. And then inside your character, if your character is, for example, I have no idea what we changed this to, what it was originally, dang it. But you'd have your object type be tank, for example. The turret will ignore, technically it would ignore other tanks, but there's no reason you couldn't do player tank and enemy tank, for example. Or if you have, you probably shouldn't, you could flag one, for example, player and enemy, wouldn't be the other thing of doing. And then have your object type as player, and then have the enemies as your object type as enemy, and have it ignore anything from the player itself. Yeah, you could do. I mean, we could just name this player, and then your new object type, enemy, like that. And then your tanks setup would be in here to ignore itself, probably, and then not block that. And then you have like inside of your turret, which would be like this one, it could be set up as custom, and you set it to still block enemy but ignore player, for example. You should be able to change collision responses on runtime. I'm 99% sure I've done that. For example, you could do the set collision enabled, and this is the actual type of collision, and then you have the collision response, if I think it's response. Yeah, collision response to channel. And you can say, okay, so for this channel you want this to be the response. And that can be done at runtime. But yeah, if you set up a different object channel, a channel for your player, a channel for the enemy, then you could have the player ignore itself, or anything ignore the player, but still not ignore the enemy. Those are options. Okay, so what were we doing? Wow. Did I have the end screen? Oh, we technically did an end screen, but we'll have to clean it up. But that's good enough for now. We'll clean up as we go along. So we need to finish up the shooting gallery, so that way we can actually have a full workflow here. So if we grab our blueprint, and we grab our shooting gallery, target manager, this is basically our flow. And we have our messaging event, I'm just cleaning this up, called Game Wants to End. So if we grab our game mode, which we're using, and we find Game Wants to End, this is where we are currently working at. No problem, Harry. Yeah, collisions are a giant pain in the ass. Simple as that. Honestly, it is. By default, it will work fine for the basic stuff, but once you want to get something more robust, like you're talking about a turret, which has its own actor, basically, then you pretty much have to take the existing system and retrofit it, not retrofit it, but actually set it up. Set up your different types of things that you need collision against and for, and things like that. And you need to spend some time to set up your collision. That's the way it's set up. It works great out of the box, but once you actually want to do something different, you're going to spend some time setting it up. So let's really quickly do this. I shouldn't need to promote this to a variable, but I'm going to anyways, for sanity's sake. And this is the game over screen reference. Okay, so now if we want to end, it should pop up the game over. So let's just quickly run through this, make sure we have the basic code working. Because with my luck so far, I'm actually going to end up not doing something right. Oh, for the stupid... That second one is so hard to hit. There we go. Game over screen. Cool. We can still move our character, which We kind of never fixed that, did we? Well, technically, if I... Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if you can see it or not, but with the light banding, you can kind of see it kind of gives like a halo shimmer effect as I move the mouse around. Anyways, that's me getting distracted. This isn't really going to be an issue because we're going to set the mode to UI. And that should be good. Yep, it was kind of weird. Weird stuff I like. Okay, so after we set up our end game screen, we're technically going to want to insert something here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a new function, just because I can make it cleaner. We're going to call update game over screen. And our update game over screen is going to update the screen before we add it to our thingy. What's the thingy? Our scores and stuff like that. Give me a second. Looks like I might have to cut the stream short today, unfortunately, but I don't know when for sure. Just a heads up. Working on doing some stuff at the house and might have to do that. So update game over screen. So our game over screen has nothing on it. So let's quickly, not quickly, but let's actually, now we can finish our game over screen. So that's the wrong game over screen, which is why we named these properly. Here we go. And we're going to have, what are we going to have? I'm going to make it simple at first. I'm just going to have the score, since we keep track of the score. So let's add another text in here. I'm going to remove the word game over. You know what? I'm going to remove the word game over. I don't like that. And this will be the... I should... you know, I shouldn't have deleted game over because I'm actually going to end up reusing it. I don't want to say game over. This is going to be final score is what it's going to be. That's what I meant to do, but obviously failed miserably at that. Box. Let's see. We want auto and auto, and we want this to be in the middle. There we go. Go with a 36 like that. I did not mean italic. I meant light. Hello, the Mad Gunner. Okay, so I should still be streaming, right? Yeah, no, make sure I'm not crazy. So we're just going to show the score for now, and then I think I will spend a little bit more time and clean it up, and actually we'll keep track of the amount of targets that were spawned. We'll keep track of the targets the player destroyed, so that way we can actually show a final tally. How many targets they missed, how many they hit, and things like that. Just to give it a little more robustness. Score, text block. Because, you know, nice little stuff like that. Plus, we could actually, then we can do some animations with them coming in and just, you know, give it a little bit of those sprucing up and making things look a little bit cooler. Rather than just plain black and white, which tends to be what I do. This should be super simple. This is our game over. I'm not going to use an interface. I'm not going to use an interface because I don't want to. I'm not going to use an interface because I'm going to allow this project to have different ways of doing the same thing. So I'm just going to use a custom event. And this one will be update score text. And this one, where's my, oh, I hate how it's over here. Wait, update, there we go. And this one's going to be the new score. And it's going to be a... We're going to take in the float, and then we're going to format it inside of here. So let's actually turn this into a variable. And score text blocks. Set the text on it. And we're just going to format the text. And put in... like that. Actually, let's There, that's what we want, the 2 float right there. And I want no fractional digits. I want full numbers only. And I want a minimum number. I'm going to go with, we're going to update this coordinate values. We're going to go with a minimum of 6, just so it looks kind of cool. Kind of like an old school arcade where you have the preceding zeros. Okay, so that should be good. Update game over screen here is we'll grab our game over screen reference and we'll update the score. And we will simply pass in the score. And in theory, if we hook that up properly, which we did here, we should be done. Let's quickly add in a actual restart button, because if not, I'm going to end up getting stuck at this screen. So I'm going to grab a button and a button. I'm going to grab a size. Let's see. I want the spacer. I'm trying to figure out where I put the spacer at. Well, I didn't put the spacer, but someone put the spacer somewhere. There we go. Thank you. We're gonna give at least a 45 difference between the two, like that. Okay, that'll work. Set this to the middle. Set this to the middle. Grab some text, and we'll slap it on our buttons. There we go. And we're gonna, I should be able to change both of these, right? Yeah, I want to make both of these black. Like that. We're gonna make both of them light. And we're gonna make both of them 36, because 36 is a good number. And this one will be retry level? Restart level, that seems to be common. And then this one will be quit. Like that. And so I don't have to use another spacer. We're just gonna use some padding right here. That way I can make it really simple like that. We'll do that. Yeah, there we go. Final score, text block, which should probably be, we're just gonna go with that for now. So it's a placeholder. Restart level, quit game. Cool. Let's make sure we have buttons that are set as buttons. So this will be the restart button. This will be the quit button. Quit button. Save everything out. Compile. This one is because the stupid box is set to. It's not set to fill. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that as well. Actually, if I set that to fill, would it fix it? No. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so we're gonna have to do that like that. Okay, let's see, graph, and I did see something pop up. Give me a second. Let's see, quit button. Oops, wrong thing. Quit button, on clicked. Restart button, on clicked. Quit button, quit game. Open level. What is the name of our level? That is a good question. Shooting gallery map. Open level. Okay, so in theory we might have code that works. We will test through this one time and then we'll see what we have in chat. Start, get move, score 0, round 1. Obviously there's things like we have a pure white level and we have a pure white numbers, so we should have some sort of like a border and a background, but these are all, you know, quality of life improvements that don't actually affect the gameplay, they just affect the user experience. I don't know how many bullets I set that one up to. There we go, final score 4. I think I'm gonna get rid of the comma. Restart level should restart the level. We're not giving the player their control back, so we need to fix that. So what we need to do is, I'm taking it away when we display this. So this one will be get player controller, game mode only. Because for every time you take away input, you should always give it back. Which is something I failed to do 2 days ago and caused us no end of annoyance. Okay, let's see if that fixes that. I have a small issue here. I don't actually have a restart game event properly working. Technically, when this level loads up, it should place the player in a specific position based on where I've told it to. I just don't actually have it doing that, so I do need to properly handle that. Oh, dang it, I missed it. And then there we go. Restart level. We can move our character. Okay, we're good. I'm probably going to have to end the stream here. I hate to say it, but I've got other stuff I have to do, which I was not expecting on. Let's see. Looks picture generated line trace, which doesn't start right in front of the character's face. Yeah, the line trace just starts and ends wherever you literally tell it to go from. So let me see if I can grab your image here. So Harry's got it right. A line trace is literally just a start and an end point. So we get Imager to cooperate. And Imager is not cooperating because my Imager doesn't like me. Let's see. Regarding the picture, I'm trying to get the right one. Well, where do you want it to start at? If, for example, you traditionally, like for our first-person character, we do line traces, I project from the camera forward. But there's nothing stopping you, for example, from adding a new scene component called, line trace start, like this, and then take that line trace start and put it wherever you want. And then now when you do your actual line trace, so if we find our character and we find our line trace right here, well, technically, as you can see here, my firing point origin is where my line trace is starting from. But I would just change that over to like my line trace start, for example. Yeah, depending on my rotation, line trace seems to go crazy, and sometimes it's shorter to the pawn, sometimes further away. It's possible you're just not firing out your line trace from the correct spot. But honestly, the easiest way, and it's a cheat, but it's used often in games, just add a new scene component. A scene component is literally just a transform. And if you want that trace to always start from a certain position relative to your character, just put that literally. So like I could have it, I could have it at the top, from the head, for example. This line trace will start at the head, or I could have it to the right of the head a little bit over the shoulder. Wherever you want it at, and it'll always fire off from that point, because when you do your firing method, you're telling it to get it from that point. Hopefully that helps. If not, pick it up again tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be on around 10 o'clock, same time. I do apologize for the short stream today, but I've got something I literally have to go take care of now. Again, have any troubles, just let me know. If not, I'm glad everything worked out. Let me know if it did work out. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I am sorry about the short stream again, but I'll try to make up more tomorrow. And yeah, like Rodrigo's saying, you can attach it to a bone on a weapon, for example, if you want it to go directly from a certain spot. You could do anything. It's just literally a point somewhere in the world is where your trace starts from. Thank you, Serpent Line, and everyone else. Again, I'm sorry about this. I literally am going to have to leave. I will be back tomorrow, roughly an hour before now, and I will try my best to make sure we stream longer and try to fix up everything. So I'm going to go dark for about 30 seconds, and I'll see everyone tomorrow. Sorry, guys.